Hi Year 5, welcome to today's writing lesson. In today's lesson, we're going to be going back through our narrative that we've written over the last few days and proofreading and editing for any spelling and punctuation mistakes. So you're going to need to go and get your paragraphs in the previous few days, and you'll need a pen or pencil so you can edit your work. If you haven't got your paragraphs in the past few days, don't worry because there'll be an opportunity in the video to edit my work, so you can always pause the video and do that there. Okay, let's get started. But first, some shout-outs. Well done to Devon for a brilliant use of a storyboard to plan his writing. Fantastic work, Archie, for using a colon to mark a DD sentence, which means description detail. Well done, Leo, for your use of fronted adverbials. Well done to Bryn for your brilliant plan and your vocabulary choices, including the use of inverted commas in your narrative. And fantastic work, Esther, for your relative clause using the relative pronoun which. For our start task this morning, Year 5, we're going to have a game of is it its or its. So first of all, what's the difference between its and its? Pause the video here and take a look at them really closely. How'd you get on? So its, like this, is a contraction. It is two words which have been put together to make a shorter word. An apostrophe is used to show there are missing letters. It is usually it is or it has. It's like this, without the apostrophe, is possessive. It shows that something belongs to or is associated with something that's already been mentioned and there is no apostrophe used. So, is it its or its in these sentences? Remember to think of this one as it is or it has. So for this one, I would start by thinking, because it's got the apostrophe, it is. So I would say it as it is a nice day. It's a nice day. Or it could be it has a nice day. Well, that doesn't make sense, but it is does. Whereas just it's on its own doesn't belong to anything, does it? So I would say that sentence 1 is it's like this with the apostrophe, as that is showing as it is a contraction. So for sentence 1, this is the correct it's. Have a go at sentence 2 to 6. Pause video here, remember to join me back here afterwards for the answers. Welcome back. How did you get on? Let's take a look at the answers. Pause the video here and mark what you've got at home. Okay, let's move on. So today we're going to be proofreading and editing for spelling and punctuation errors. The key vocabulary for today's lesson is punctuation, error, mistakes, proofreading, spellings and check. The big picture for this is it's really important that we are clear and have clarity in our writing, as the reader might not always understand what we mean, and we don't want to cause any ambiguity. So what is proofreading? We looked at this a few weeks ago just before half term. Proofreading is the process of looking through your work, finding mistakes and correcting them. And editing is where we fix the mistakes in our writing. So here are our steps to success for today's lesson. When proofreading and editing our narrative from last week, we're going to make sure we're looking for capital letters to mark the starts of our sentences and any proper nouns, so any names, whether that's the planet name or the character's name. We're also going to be looking for full stops to mark the end of our sentences. We'll look for other types of punctuation that we might have used too, and that could include commas, question marks, exclamation marks, inverted commas and apostrophes. And we'll also make sure that we're looking for any spellings that are incorrect. Remember, when we're editing our work and we're proofreading, it's sometimes best to take a break and then come back to the work and read it again at a later time. Another really useful strategy is to break it down. So we might read our narrative the whole way through and only look for spellings first. We then might take a break and read it through next time for just capital letters and full stops. Then, after that, we might have another look and just look for different types of punctuation. So remember, you can break it down into lots of different ways. For your spellings, remember to think of strategies to help you with recognising if the word is spelled correct or not. Do you notice that the spelling is incorrect just by looking at it? When you sound out the word, does it sound correct? And have any spelling rules that we know being followed? Okay, let's take a look. It's my turn now, Year 5. Here is the first paragraph from my narrative from last week that we've written, all about my escape from the planet I was mysteriously transported to. I'm going to read through first and check for things like my capital letters. So, I'm going to start here. Miss Taylorson, who was stumbling around the bizarre supernatural planet, could see the eerie mysterious mist rolling over the landscape. Now, I know straight away that I haven't got my capital letters for my name, so I need the one to start the sentence, which also happens to be my name, but then I also need the one for Taylorson. who was stumbling around the bizarre supernatural planet, could see the eerie, mysterious mist rolling over this landscape. Oh, I know there that there should be a full stop, which means that A should be a capital letter. A strange echoing noise filled her ears. All of a sudden, a chill ran down Miss Taylorson's spine. She knew she had to find some way of getting home, but she didn't know how, so she kept searching. Okay, I think I found all of my capital letters now. I think I've also got all of my full stops because when I was reading that through, as I paused, the full stops seemed to be in the longer places where I paused. And I need to check for any other punctuation I may have missed. Miss Taylorson, who was stumbling around the bizarre supernatural planet, could see the eerie, mysterious mist. Oh, here I paused between eerie and mysterious. That's an expanded noun phrase. I need my comma in there. Let's just double check. Miss Taylorson, who was stumbling around the bizarre supernatural planet, could see the eerie, mysterious mist rolling over the landscape. Yes, that's much better. A strange echoing noise filled her ears. All of a sudden, a chill ran down Miss Taylorson's spine. She knew she had to find some way of getting home, but she didn't know how, so she kept searching. I now think I've got all the punctuation I need in this paragraph, so I'm going to start looking at my spellings. Okay, so Miss Taylorsson, who was, I know was isn't spelled correctly, so I'm going to change it. I know that's one of my known words, and I look at it, I can see that it's not spelled correctly. He was stumbling. Stumbling. I know that there I should have an ing ending. Stumbling around the bizarre supernatural planet could. Oh, you lucky duck. That's not being used. Could is like would, should, and could. They include O-U-L-D. Oh, you lucky duck. Miss Taylorsson, who was stumbling around the bizarre supernatural planet, could see the eerie, mysterious mist rolling over the landscape. I've noticed something else, Year 5. Is this the correct sea? No, you're absolutely right. This sea is like the ocean, water, whereas the sea I mean is that I could physically see it with my eyes. So that's this spelling of sea. Okay, let's take a look at the next sentence. A strange echoing noise filled her ears. I'm happy with that sentence. All off a sudden. All off a sudden? That's right. It should have one F for of and two for off. We're not switching something off. We're saying all of a sudden. Fantastic. Sudden. Sud-un or sud-en. That's right. It's E-N. A chill ran down Miss Taylorson's spine. I'm happy with that sentence too. She knew she had to find some way of getting home, but she didn't know how, so she keeps searching. Year 5, I think I've made quite a few mistakes in this sentence. I'm really going to have to use my growth mindset and my spelling rules that I know. I know that in some, it's spelt with an O and an E because it's a split digraph. S-O-M-E, some. Way of getting home, but she didn't know how, so she keeps searching. Didn't, I know, is a contraction, so I need my contraction apostrophe to show that it really is did not, and the letter O has been missed, so the apostrophe goes where the letter O should be. Didn't know. Am I saying no as in, no, I'm not doing that, or no, I can't read it? That's right, I'm not. I'm saying I know as in I understand it, I have knowledge of it. So that's with my silent K and my W at the end. But she didn't know how, so she kept searching. I'm trying to say that I'm keeping on searching, but in the past tense. So that is kept. Just like so. I think I'm really happy with my spelling and punctuation now. But I wonder if I can up-level my work anymore. I wonder if I could add a Year 5-6 word into my work somehow today. Let's take a look at that Year 5-6 word list. Here it is, Year 5. Okay, let's have a look. I know she had to find some way of getting home, but she was desperate. So she's desperate to find a way of getting home. So I'm going to say she was desperate to get home, but she didn't know how. She was desperate to get home, but didn't know how, so she kept searching. There, I'm really happy now that I've got a Year 5-6 word in there. It's absolutely fine to change some of the words in your sentence and reword things if you need to. That's the benefit of proofreading. If we think something doesn't quite sound right or we want to change the way something is written, we can do that before we write it up in Best. Fantastic. Okay, so now I would like you to pause the video here and have a quick go at this. Don't worry though, we're going to come back and go through it together, but I'd like you to give it a go first. This is one of my paragraphs. It's the third paragraph from the story that I've written. I'd like you to pause the video and, just as I have, go through checking for any capital letters, full stops, commas, question marks, exclamation marks, inverted commas and apostrophes, as well as the spellings. Join me back here afterwards though, Year 5, to go through the answers. Welcome back, Year 5. How'd you get on? Let's take a look at the answers. As you can see, I have put green boxes around the answers, the different bits of punctuation, spelling and the capital letters that you should have noticed in the paragraph. 3 was spelled incorrectly. There was no capital letter for Miss Taylorson. Was spelled incorrectly. There was no capital letter here after the full stop and no comma after just then, which is the front of the verb rule. Some and objects spelled incorrectly, as well as were. It was spelled as where. The comma was missing in the expanded noun phrase and the full stop at the end of the sentence, along with a capital letter for the next sentence. The full stop was also missing here. There was a comma missing after luckily, and which was the wrong spelling of which. It was a spelling as in the wicked witch. Okay, now that I have got all my spellings correct, I have got pops. Pops, remember, means a paragraph of perfect spelling. It's your turn now, Year 5. It's a layered approach for today's lesson. I'd like you to look back through your narrative from Thursday, Friday and Monday, the writing we did over those 3 days, and find and correct some spelling mistakes and add capital letters and full stops to your writing. For Chili 2, after you've moved on from Chili 1, I'd like you to identify any missing commas, inverted commas, question marks, exclamation marks and apostrophes that you might have missed in your writing. Can you also add any words from the Year 5 and 6 word list to your story? Don't worry if you can't remember any words on that list right now. It will be on the screen just a minute after this slide for you to pause and copy any words down there, or it might also help you if you spell any of those words incorrectly. For Chili 3, can you ensure that you have accurate spelling and punctuation of your paragraph? Can you achieve pops? It might be that you achieve pops in more than one of your paragraphs. Perhaps you could achieve it in all 4, Year 5. Can you then justify why you've used commas in the different places in your story? Here is the Year 5-6 word list, Year 5. You can pause the video here and note any words down that you might need to use in your narrative. And that's the end of today's writing lesson. Thank you so much for joining me, Year 5. As always, please send your work into our Year 5 email address, as I'd love to see the corrections that you've made to your narrative. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.